There were moments in life when the only way was to stop holding on. It is this very essence that Eric Thomas, the iconic motivational speaker, captures in an unleveled intensity. They read like the first notes of a battle cry that demands we let go and never stop moving forward. His message, so simple and yet fundamental. The act of letting go is not a sign of weakness, but rather an essential step in realizing your deepest possibilities. Just picture being confronted with a sign at which two roads diverge in the woods, and there you are, burdened to your knees by generations of failed relationships and dysfunction. You were stuck on an endless loop, imprisoned by the memories and mistakes that you carry within your bones. Sorry about your luck is influencing millions. Eric Thomas snaps us out of this stupor with a message that's both an alarm and a lighthouse. This speech is not just about letting go, it's about surrendering the things that no longer serve us. It is stripped back, raw, and unflinching in Thomas's style. He pushes us to accept the point that binds and crimps up our only resistance to moving on. He gives a visceral image of us staying stuck in negativity and toxic influences. We don't grow to our true potential. He calls us to imagine a life unencumbered by the chains of regret and bitterness. Is it game-changing, powerful imagery, or blow a gasket, even more change final imagery? When Thomas speaks, he taps into a reservoir of very human feelings that go right to the nerve center housing our worst fears and deepest insecurities. They serve as a reminder that clinging onto an element of the past, be it anger or ego due to failure, is essentially what's standing between ourselves and success. He compares letting go to molting old skin. You have to do it for the new growth. The tension in his talk mounts as he concludes, arguing that the freedom and liberation we delve into is just a release away. He does not stop there, with that piece of revelation. Rather, Thomas gives a very detailed and brilliant roadmap of how to let go in its place. Easier said than done, perhaps, but all easier to do with a clear mind and heart. He stresses that relinquishing control quite literally demands guts plus grit equals sign, but the payoff, oh how sumptuous. It is a cliffhanger as the suspense builds with his approach to why you should release, cue drumroll. And then he finishes by telling us that when we do, our life changes. Thomas would interchangeably deliver his speech with a tone of urgency and comfort. He respects what he is saying and cares deeply about its difficulty. There are no wasted words when he speaks, and you feel his urgency in every sentence. He forces us to reconsider our engagement with the past and understand that what made them is not necessarily what defines our future. The friction between the anguish of moving on and anticipation of newness is what keeps listeners wanting to know how they will get through their own journey. Thomas finishes her speech with an inspirational nod to self-respect and survival. He declares that we all are capable of shunning our past inertia. The suspense builds until you reveal that for them, the true battle is not with external conditions, but with our strenuous efforts to change. It is expected and uplifting. We are not our pasts, but whatever it took for us to push through them. The message in Let Them Go, by Eric Thomas the Great, is more powerful than a motivational speech. At once arresting in its visceral honesty and overpoweringly propulsive. The powerful urge to take away from this lesson is that letting go is not quitting. It is clearing the way for what you really have waiting. In a final stanza, the impinged weight sends you off with an emboldened cause and fleeting release of the past. This process of releasing is terrifying and exciting all at once, but with the help of Thomas, it becomes a limitless end to what life has in store for them.